Drop a yop in the chat if you've got me loud and clear. I'm glad that Abby specifically added loud and clear because sometimes you guys are just yopping, so who knows, right? But that was too coordinated, too many ops at one time, which is good. I love seeing these committee meetings capped out. Got a bunch of cool folks hanging out here. We're going to be talking about a number of things. I just got some really cool news. And we've got some more big things coming up. So, BK, do we have you or you get rugged? I think she was rugged. I feel like it's the first person in. Like whoever jumps in first on stage is the person who gets rugged. So you got to leave and come back. You know, jump through the whole rigmarole.
I got
Yeah.
rigmarole.
What up, Mike?
Hey, Lex. Hey,
Not
BK.
rigmarole.
It's also really
You.
annoying when you were the first to start the meeting and then you're just talking and you actually don't know for a minute that no one can
Mm-hmm.
hear. So, okay,
Yes,
here
yes.
we go.
Because there's nobody else in the call to validate, right? Just you speaking into the void.
The digital
I don't know
void.
why it's so consistent though. I'm like, if that is that consistent, how has this not been fixed? This is amusing.
It's a feature. You get a couple minutes to hold court without anyone responding.
Yes.
To share your
You just
views on anything you want.
push the new guys into the stage first.
Yeah.
All right, well, shall
And
we dig in?
we shall. We shall.
All right. Agenda is kind of the same as last week or last month, but basically want to get an indexer update because we're so close on that. I know we keep saying. And then I want
I've
to go
got
over all the
I've
bounty
got
pro.
news. This
Ooh,
might even be
okay.
news to BK because it was dropped in Slack 7 minutes ago. But go
It
ahead,
is
we'll get
news
there.
then. Go for it.
Okay, so the indexer's done. It's integrated. I literally 4 minutes ago pinged Mike so that he can merge changes for the indexer. Integration's done from the front end, so we should be rocking and rolling. At this point, it's like we'll test some stuff, right? You guys can jump in and help us test, but like we are ready to rock and roll. So praise the Lord. Thanks to the CloudMost team for facilitating. I know they've been going back and forth with Nicholas, and I'm super stoked to finally get to leverage this beautiful new architecture. And yeah, I think it'll be a huge impact for just the user experience across the board. Yee.
So that's like officially our first. Oh, well, the archive node was done too, but that's the first
Yep.
major project we've had from this
Yeah.
community being completed.
Oh yeah.
So,
That was
sweet.
big. So yeah. So first was archive node. You know, shout out to our fam. Um, and this one is obviously substantial. So very excited for this, and we've got some from all teams involved. We got some more stuff coming. So you want to talk about what's next? What's coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, so we shared this proposal, kind of our recommendations in the chat, I want to say last week or the week before.
Yes.
But basically, we compiled all of the proposals for the different projects that we have out on the board right now, and wanted to make some recommendations to the committee. It doesn't seem like we've had any, feedback to the negative. But basically, our goal as we were reviewing all of this is we want to get multiple teams on board, people active in the community. We're super excited to have people like James and Mystery who are new to the community contributing. And
Yes.
kind of spread that out. So, based on our evaluation of the proposals, we wanted to make the recommendation that Code Sage, which is that was a submitter on GitHub, but that's the team with James and Mystery,
Great. Great.
would take on the NFT staking front end project. For NFT staking smart contracts, we wanted to award that to Tassio, who's worked on our smart contracts in the past. He has the most tribal knowledge on that and experience with it, specifically for Passage. And then we thought, in order to just ensure like the smart contracts are solid, that we would give an additional bounty for a peer review of that, rather than doing a full audit. We kind of discussed this last time, and I don't know, Lex, Mike, if you wanted to just weigh in on that at all, but we decided that just given like the value of what's actually being done, a full audit isn't isn't necessary, and we'd be
Yeah,
happy
I
with it.
agree. And it's all open source too, so it is publicly verifiable, which is a really helpful catalyst for accountability and security. So, but being able to have a second set of eyes on it and just validate that from multiple perspectives is going to be beneficial.
Yeah, so the idea was to also give CodeSage and their team $1,000 for the peer review, and then an additional 1,000 if any major vulnerabilities are found. So that's the one thing that I need to put up on the board once we finalize all this.
Yes.
And then moving down to sales data and the marketplace UI UX, these things go hand in hand, so it makes sense to have the same team do them just because they're going to be working on the UI. So NodeFleet and their team, we wanted to suggest that they take that bounty, and then all of their UI UX work that they do would inform the NFT staking front end that's done. So I think trajectory of that, the NFT staking front end will come last. The marketplace UI UX and sales data and smart contracts will go hand in hand on the same timeline. And then the front end for staking will just be delayed a bit.
Perfect. Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, so this is our recommendation. I mean, basically, this is what we're going to be moving forward with. We have not gotten any. There has been 100% silent support for this. Is where we're at right now. This is kind of a like, hey, say your piece type of progression. And unless anybody has any qualms, this is going to be the direction that we're proposing for the steering committee. And just get ready for liftoff. Super excited about this. Greg was saying in the moderator chat that we are hopeful for the opportunity to have egg staking live by the anniversary of Winter's Rise, which for those who are longtime Strange Clan community members will remember is the first the realization of the eggs and our holiday festival for the Strange Clan eggs. So it'd be really cool to be able to celebrate that anniversary with some fun NFT staking action. So yeah, super excited about all these pieces moving forward. It's a huge. It is opening up a ton of doors for the Ryan is here. I raised his hand. I just invited you to speak, Ryan, too. It is opening a ton of doors for the blockchain integrations on the platform side, right? Because right now there's a lot of opportunity in terms of blockchain integration on the platform. We are currently pushing forward both the avatar customizations, NFT gating for events, and this is going to open up even more things, functionality for the marketplace that bolster our ability to integrate new stuff on the platform, right? Like the more smart contracts and features that we can leverage on the marketplace side, the more we can create a really cool interoperability between those two ecosystems. So this is huge. Really excited about this, and again, beginning to expand and differentiate the marketplace as a ecosystem for the 3D environments. And I'll just say too that every day now, literally every day, at this stage of closed alpha, we're talking to new creators who are hyped about Passage. I just got off a call with a big Unreal Engine creator. They have Unreal Engine environments ready to go that they are dying to bring into Passage. And having this marketplace ecosystem is going to make it easier for them to monetize experiences, to add value to our creator ecosystem on Passage through the marketplace, through the blockchain. So every single feature we add really brings a lot of value to the people who are onboarding through the closed alpha. So it's huge. It is a big impact. And also, it says a lot that, honestly, I think we have more people hanging out here, or at least a very similar number of people hanging out here as we have in recent GM tidings. And this is obviously a much more technical and inner circle conversation for the blockchain community. Whereas in GM tidings, we mostly just play around and goof off. So it says a lot about the community that we have people at the builder level, contributors, people who want to create. And I really think it's a big part of the ethos of Passage is creating something, contributing to the creator ecosystem, and we have that growing really quickly, both on the blockchain side as well as the virtual production Unreal Engine side. So just stoked. Can't say enough about how excited I am for what we're building and the pieces that are coming together here.
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan, do you want to add anything just on Passage platform updates? And then Mike, I know you've been working on our Kosh integration, so if you wanted to add anything after that, just so the community has kind of a holistic picture of what we're working on.
Sure. So we're like Lex said, we're onboarding more users onto the platform side, really emphasizing a bunch of goals that are going to tie in with the blockchain side of things as well. So avatar customizations, NFT gating, things like that. We have a user who came in through Secret Network that is kind of locked in for our eventual Wave 3. They're planning to launch a collection on the Passage Marketplace that will NFT gate their world. A lot of the stuff that we're doing with the platform is reaching folks that are interested in integrating with the blockchain, which is great. As far as like usage of the platform, we saw a doubling of alpha user engagement with the platform from June to July, and then based on early August numbers, um, I'm sorry, it wasn't doubling; it was a 50% increase. Based on early August numbers, we probably expect another 50% increase on top of that, and obviously we do have more users coming in as well, so that certainly helps. But beyond that, we're just seeing um, a good amount of people really engaging and testing things out and wanting to improve it and working with us. And we've been working very hard in the back end on. Um, I'm sure Mike will talk about all the Akash stuff and as well as getting more in-world functionality working, even if it's just kind of like samples of what could be done. And we have quite a few people that are looking to create their own worlds using Unreal, even before we get to kind of the next iteration of World Builder. Um, and in an ideal world, we're also working towards making sure that world building assets on the marketplace can also be integrated into those worlds. So if people are going to go through and learn Unreal, we want them to be able to leverage the marketplace for assets they can pull into their world. So again, another tie-in with the blockchain there. But um,
Yes.
yeah, we're really focused on getting the product being really solid, and that's most of my focus is the actual product side, but always kind of with an eye towards what can we do to integrate with the blockchain in a way that is providing value both ways rather than just looking for kind of
Yes.
like um, I was going to say token integrations, not token like the passage token, like symbolic integrations of like, hey,
Right. Right.
technically we use the blockchain, but it doesn't actually help anybody. The ways that we're going about it are ways that one are truly utilizing the blockchain for what we want it to be and utilizing the marketplace for what we want it to be, and then two, also enhancing the product for our users. Um,
Yep. Yeah.
if
It's
anybody has
got to be
questions,
sustainable.
yeah.
Something
If
people
anybody
can
has
actually use.
If anybody has questions on that, I'm happy to answer as well. And um, I know that we have, I see Adam in here and Greg as well. They were both just added to. So we have a couple members of the steering committee that are also um, now early passage users as well. I know Greg used it for a D&D session, which I've also done before, which was really cool just from a nerding out perspective to get some feedback there. But yeah, we've got a lot of diverse use cases coming in, ranging from super Web3 native people to people that have nothing to do with Web3, and it'll be interesting to see how we provide Web3 options for those non-native Web3 people in a way that enhances their
Yes.
experience rather than shoving it down their throat in terms of hey, you must use this blockchain stuff. But those are challenges we're really looking forward to solving to figure out how do we leverage all this great stuff we're doing on the blockchain side of things to make that experience truly better for them without making it more complicated.
Oh yeah, I just dropped a screenshot of just one of my LinkedIn posts recently, and again, I'm speaking to a totally pleb audience of Web2 users who are definitely. There's a lot of people in this community who are super users of virtual ecosystems. Like they are informed. I just hopped into a call. I mean, I mentioned this. I hopped into a call. I just got out of a call with a team that already has Unreal Engine levels that they're excited to use because they've been building in the virtual space. We've got another team that I talked to just a couple of days ago that wants to use Passage, switching from another virtual platform, right? Like they're actually we have some of the most informed users imaginable who are discovering the ecosystem now, and they're not people who are kind of like naively hopeful about metaverse or some vague idea of the metaverse. They're people who have been producing for industry leading brands for years now, and they get it. They've been through kind of the hardships of traditional platforms, virtual platforms, all these things, and they're coming to Passage as a informed user saying, this is different, this is unique. It's really, really cool. The traction has been large. My calendar has just absolutely exploded. um, and we will be getting more and more people involved in the closed alpha. We've been getting incredible feedback, right? um, but really, it is insane the level of Web 2 interest, because this is not a Web 3 platform. It just isn't. It's Web 3 infrastructure. It's Web 3 value proposition. But it's a platform for everybody, right? That's the beauty of it, is that we can bring anybody in and use. And I've talked to a lot of these people about the blockchain side of these things. Um, there's People are not concerned. They want it to be accessible, and it's very easy to communicate the value here, right? And explain that, like, hey, our our Web3 vision, the reason that's part of this and integrated into the platform in a fundamental way, is because not because we want people to jump through hoops or have to figure out NFTs or things like that. All of that is abstracted away. It's the idea that we want the option. We see the future of ownership, right? Of digital value preservation, and transparency, the open source ecosystem. And people really love that. I mean, the creators I was just talking to today, this production team, um, their their mindset is they want this to be a grassroots movement. I mean, they see the community impact of building an ecosystem like this, right? And they're excited to be one of the early creators in the Passage creator ecosystem, because they are fleeing a lot of these more institutional, closed ecosystems like Facebook or Decentraland or whatever. Like these more, we have people who are literally migrating. Or this morning, I talked to somebody who wants to migrate their client's virtual environment from Decentraland into Passage, right? So it's cool. It's cool seeing people who are more informed than ever, who are more comfortable with Web3 terminology than ever, as long as it doesn't impact user experience, right? So it's been very encouraging, but also a lot. So just keep us in your thoughts, hopes, dreams, prayers, because it's a lot, but it's good. We're still, hustling, bringing people in, doing demos, and just building. Thanks to the support from you guys in the open source community and all the people contributing to the development there as well. So huge impact to have you guys supporting while we're facilitating as much as we can. So
Cool. And then, yeah, on the Akash side of things, if you guys didn't know, we're sort of been working on integrating, everything from our back end and our front end, our audio video infrastructure, as well as our game deployments, all to Akash. So we can provide users with an option when they're creating their events. It allows us to, cut costs, use all this great compute from Akash that is, way more way cheaper, because yeah, when we're using these GPUs from AWS, those costs add up pretty quickly. So I've been sort of putting my head down on that for the last couple of months, and we're getting near the finish line. We have like all this deployment stuff set up so that from the front end you can choose where you want to deploy, and the back end just handles all that automatically. Just one click for that, and then and now I'm working on the integrating the audio video stuff into Akash, and that will be the last step, and we'll be ready to try that out.
yeah, that
So
was the
yeah,
big
that's where we
missing
are.
feature, because we had this big announcement where we have Akash on Passage, or Passage on Akash. And but you'll notice in those demos, the one feature that we had not ported yet was the audio video, right? So we can run Passage Worlds on Akash GPUs, but our audio video WebRTC service was Agora, which only builds for Windows. And so Mike has been hustling to build out a custom C++ interface for LiveKit.io, which is an open source WebRTC library, so that we can integrate this WebRTC platform into the Linux builds of Unreal Engine 5. So it's a lot. I mean, there's like custom pieces that we're building. Everything about this infrastructure, from the streaming perspective, the GPU perspective, decentralized GPUs, is utterly novel. Um, and even other pixel streaming platforms. There are other people who are doing pixel streaming because people have noticed. But I've had several people. So again, the demo I did today, they're like, we knew pixel streaming was a thing, but we haven't seen anybody do it like Passage. And when they got in, I brought 4 of their team members in, and when they jumped in, they were like, this is it. Like, this is what we've been moving towards. And this is a team that's been doing production in Unreal Engine for 2-3 years now. So they've been in this space, in the trenches. And then with this other team that's already using a pixel streaming platform, it was the same thing. It was like they can see how this is fundamentally unique, even from other people using similar technology stacks like pixel streaming. It is not the same personal experience. They specifically mentioned the way that we handle our audio video infrastructure and the kind of immersion that that creates in Passage is very, very unique from any other platform. So there's a lot of really cool things happening now. And once we can get that audio video service onto Linux and into Akash, I mean, the call I had this morning, I mentioned the price of points to them and how in the closed alpha we're somewhere around $1.40 per hour per user, and was like, okay, that's without any subscription costs because that's waived during the closed alpha. So you're saving costs there. But part of that margin is just as we're optimizing and figuring out the systems for booting up servers, things like that, we have some variation in costs. So we have to have additional wiggle room. And they were saying like, dude, that's totally worth that. And I'm like, knowing in my head, I told them, I said, okay, prices will drop substantially for one as we nail down our real world hard costs, and then we'll be passing those hard costs directly onto the end user, right? Our profit model is not in the points, it's not in the streaming credits. We want you to get more value the more you use Passage, not spend more money, right? So really, we have a fixed subscription rate. That's our profit. We meant to get as many people creating as Passage or as much as possible. Prices will go down drastically, but it was really cool hearing somebody be like, totally worth it, right? Somebody who's been in the production space, who is selling these types of environments to clients, be like 100%, like just, it was so trivial to them. It was really, really cool knowing that, hey, we'll get you the best, get you a much better deal as soon as we finish some of these integrations and optimizations. Again, from our testing, 50 to 7% cost decrease on Akash. So big stuff. DK, we got anything else on the agenda? And also any questions, if you've got thoughts, hopes, or dreams.
Yeah, just
Hit me.
raise your hand if you want to speak.
Yeah.
The only thing I wanted to talk about is just, okay, we have a lot of stuff happening right now. We have a lot of bounties that we're
Nice.
going to move forward and things that are going to be worked on. But just in terms of priorities for next projects, just brainstorming that a bit. There's some things we've talked about, like a minting interface or adding other currencies. And so I think some of that aligns with our, Passage platform roadmap as well, and some of the other things we're doing with a hub world and potentially adding Atom to the marketplace. So just wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, heck yeah. I mean, basically with the community hub, this is something we've been talking about for a long time, but we're really ready to do this in a big way. And it's going to basically supplement everything we're doing with the community already in GM tidings, in the steering committee meetings. But we're taking these meetings every single week, bringing them into the community hub, adding additional time to do live sessions in Passage, and making that our education hub for the interchain. And I'll tell you, the teams that are excited about this are substantial. Not only are we currently working with a bunch of interchain teams of very substantial size who are interested in pushing this forward. We currently have an application for the Atom Accelerator program. And we've got a bunch of different projects that will either be contributing or sponsoring to get involved in the community hub. But also outside of Cosmos, meaning we really want to showcase that Cosmos is an interchain experience. And we're talking with Router Protocol right now about basically having it such that we can bring like a whiff world experience. I don't know if you're familiar with the dog whiff hat meme on Solana, but basically do a really fun Solana homage in Passage where people can spend Solana, and it's showcasing the interchain. It's not about the meme. That's just a fun theme around which to build. But people could spend Solana or whiff inside a Passage world, and Router Protocol will basically migrate that liquidity over to Cosmos, and it gets spent in Passage or Atom or whatever, right? Inside of a Passage world without any new interaction from a Solana user. So a Solana user could come into Passage and spend their native assets for, you know, cute little whiff customizations or whatever, to like play a whiff mini game or things like that, being able to interact in the space. And you know, it's meant to be educational, it's meant to be community oriented, it's not meant to like be a cash grab. It's just meant to get people excited and understand the possibilities in the interchain. So that's a big one. That's part of kind of this developing closed alpha, where we'll be hosting those again. It'll be like our community hangouts, just on a slightly larger scale. And slightly larger meaning we have the aggregate communities of a lot of other interchain projects. So it'll be significant. The goal with that right now, with our current closed alpha features, is to be hosting roughly 300 people a week across the different sessions, and 15,000 people throughout the sponsor year. And with just 20 people in Passage for the Nebular Summit event, overall reach for that content was 20,000 people. So we reached 20,000 viewers on Twitter across the clips and the live feed for the Nebular event, which is 20 people in Passage, right? That's like 1,000x in awareness, right? Now we had like 900 live viewers during the live stream. And then the rest came from people viewing the stream after the fact or viewing clips, things like that. So it's an overall, you know, content strategy, but this is something that Passage makes super accessible. So, you know, if we can get 300 people in Passage every week, you know, we're talking about the opportunity on the same model, right? Again, we're talking about just the Nebular community in our community who was focused on that panel, and that was 1,000x in awareness. I really think we can hit 300,000 plus viewers every single week, being able to showcase the possibilities of the interchain and have an organic live experience in Passage, not some kind of like, you know, choose your own adventure, go have fun in an empty metaverse type of experience. So Adam asked, with the indexer being finished, how will that impact the marketplace? Is everything solved, such as NFTs showing properly in wallets, sales working, and the marketplace listing only NFTs that are currently for sale? All of those things you listed should be solved by the indexer, right? Because those had to do with referencing data from the chain that was not being properly indexed, right? So this will be a process of iteration and testing, but this will be live today or tomorrow, this week. Let's just say this week we'll have some internal testing. We will have the merge to the live code base so that you guys can also test and validate and yeah, and we'll iterate, right? I mean, this is going to be a continue to be a collaborative process, but yeah, 100%. Any other thoughts, hopes, dreams? Go team, go! Blasty blast! You guys are awesome. Yeah, hit me up if you guys have any questions. We're here hanging out, and we'll be here for the next one. So excited to see this stuff moving forward. Give your support and your yops to the volunteers who have jumped into this wild open source community. Really appreciate all of you. And yeah, stay dragon.
Yes, thanks.
Everybody.
Peace.